What is up, watch friends? This is Tony, talking timepieces with Tony. Anyway, welcome to Friday night, and hope everyone had a good week and just get ready for your weekend. So appreciate all the likes, subscribes. I'm wearing my Submariner 124060. I neglected it this whole week because I've been wearing my OP. So got to put it on. We got to wear it sometimes, right? Just before we get into the intro, just want to let you guys know next week, Thursday, I am co-hosting the watch and jewelry event in Toluca Lake. I am going to be live streaming. I am giving away a Tissot PRX, my PRX that I paid for cash. I'm co-hosting this event. I'm not getting paid for it. I'm not doing it for money because I love watches and that's what I do. So it's got nothing to do with doing it for money or anything like that. But yeah, so if you can, I got to figure out the live stream thing. I tested it, so it does work. And I just got to figure out the time because it's going to be from 4 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard, Los Angeles. So I'll do the best I can for you guys. Anyway, let's get into the intro. We got some good questions, and here we go. Okay, Magic Watch Ball. Now, if you want to have your question featured on the Magic episode of the Magic Watch Ball, just leave a comment and ask your question, and the Watch Ball will be happy to answer your question. But before we get into business, just want to give a shout out to one of my subscribers, Harold Bennett, who sent me this message today. And it says, "Hey, Tony, I picked up my OP41 silver dial last night from my AD, exclamation mark. Yes, dude. I was tempted to go gray, but just remained patient. I went into the AD a few weeks ago and my SA wasn't there, SA sales associate. But I had a conversation with the manager and he stepped up to help me get my piece for my anniversary. Thank you for your advice on building a relationship with ADs." Dude, that is so awesome. First and foremost, happy anniversary. Second of all, congratulations on your watch. I'm super stoked. Glad I could help. There's been a few other viewers that have gotten their watches from watching my videos, so I appreciate it. See, the videos work. All right, man. So let's get to the question. First question is from Richard L. Let's see, a question for the Magic Watch Ball. I've got a $42 million in the bank, ready to go spend. Should I get an OP? I wish that was the question. I've got a 42mm Explorer 2 black dial and have the opportunity to change the dial to white and keep the black. What should I do? I've got a blue Datejust and a silver OP, so thought it could be good to have a white dial. Hopefully the sub will eventually fill in the black face dial spot. Cheers, Richard. What do you think, Mr. Watchball, Mrs. Watchball, Miss Watchball? I think it's a female. It depends. Is the Explorer 2 white dial authentic or is it aftermarket? If it's authentic, absolutely go for it. Make sure you take it to a trusted watchmaker that can swap out the dials for you, because just swapping a dials, obviously you probably know, you have to take the hands off, and there's just more to it. You have to separate it from the movement, all that stuff. So yes, do it and enjoy it. Next question from Doug. Question for the ball. What does the watch ball think of Rolex ADs selling pre-owned Rolex? It's so funny because this question came in over a week ago before all this debacle on the certified pre-owned, Okay, so the watch ball is basically saying, yes, I think it's great. Now that they have their certified pre-owned program in place, certain people tend to think that because those watches are even more expensive than the gray market dealers, that it's a ripoff and no one's going to pay that price for a Submariner, for instance. However, some people, and the majority, don't care about researching gray market. If they go into a authorized dealer and they want to buy a Rolex, they're going to trust what the authorized dealer says to them. And if that means spending an extra few $1,000s to get the certified watch that they want, then by all means, if it makes them happy, then I say, yes, it's a good idea. I think it's great because now you can get into this, get a pre-owned watch knowing 100% sure that that watch is legitimate, real, with papers and everything you get from it. So there you go. Yeah. And that's the same with me, man. I think, you know, I know people that have a lot of money that when they go to buy something, you know, and I know females too, that for instance, if they go to buy a Louis Vuitton bag, you know, they don't, a Ferragamo, whatever it is, they don't care. It's like, look, that's the bag I want. I don't care how much it costs. I'm going to get it however I get it. And I want to make sure it's real. They don't, you know, not everybody is like us. We're total geeks. We research, we look at all this stuff. Some people just don't care. You know what I mean? And it's just, so that's where that is. Okay. So I appreciate your question, Doug. This one comes from Dennis. Okay. Appreciate you and your magic ball input to my last query. I have a question. Alrighty, let's see. I have it. Let's see. Nomos Club Sport Neomatic Datum 42. A watch I like. Only saw it on internet. I live in Asia. This watch retail price from Nomos Glashütte webpage in euros is 3,120 or 3,960 in the United States. Delivery time 10 months. How come I can see this watch new on the gray market for euro $2,600? I would understand if this watch was easily available, but it's not. Generally, gray market dealers often get items from authorized resellers because there's a quota to maintain, or a flipper specifically for watches. How can items so difficult to obtain be available below retail price? This is a very simple question, and this is a very simple answer. That was a simple question because Mom always said life's like a box of chocolates. I'm just going to read it and then I'm going to, what the watch ball is telling me. Okay, yeah. The answer is simple. The Nomos Neomatic Datum 42, it's a case of basically supply and demand. There's not enough demand for that watch. And they aren't in the United States. Funny enough, you mentioned that because when I purchased my Oyster Perpetual, I looked at the Nomos because I do have a Nomos, and they did have that specific watch in stock, and they were going to give me a 25% discount. So on the bottom line is the watch is not difficult to get. It may be difficult in your area. Maybe your AD does not wish to supply the watch because there's no demand for it. So as far as what he's saying about generally gray market dealers often get items from authorized resellers because they have a quota to maintain. Okay, what he's saying there, that's a statement, not part of really the question. But what that is like, for instance, you can take gray market like Joma Shop, all right, and then you can take, say, Luxury Bazaar. I'm just trying to think of that Roman Sharf guy, his place. You know, they just sell used watches. You know, they're gray market, but they sell pre-owned watches. They sell watches that they get new. But like somewhere like Joma Shop, well, actually, a lot of these watch dealers, they have a quota, right? For instance, they have a certain amount of watches they have to sell in order to get their new stock in, or they get their new stock in and they got to get rid of their old stock and they have nowhere to go because they can't sell the old stock. So they sell it to people like Joma Shop, who then in turn sell those watches that are brand new at a discount. So that's kind of a little bit more on the gray market. And I'm just getting text after text from, like, anyway. So if that makes sense to you, for instance, some of these ADs are not going to contact Roman Sharf or whatever to unload their stuff, you know, but they'll contact companies like Joma Shop, you know. So if you go to Joma Shop, they're just huge. Customer service sucks. I wouldn't ever buy a watch from them again if I could help it. I've had almost 3 bad experiences with them back in the past several years ago. So I hope that helps. My video is getting long before I can get through all this stuff. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Okay, so this one's from Strider. All right, Strider, how you doing, brother? Magic Watch Ball, how can we donate you a slab or some cash for all your free advice? Appreciate that. Watch ball has no use for money. Money means nothing to me. Money is just an object that I cannot utilize. A slab, some beer, I'll drink it. I'm good, man. I like doing this. I don't need the money. Well, you know, it's always nice to get something. I got some stuff coming up where I might have some merchandise, but it's really cool, dude. You guys are gonna freak when you see what I have. All right, next one. WN Below Me. Hey Tony, congrats on the OP. Thank you. I love it. I can't wait for the live stream. Yay. Where's the best place? All right. What do you and the Magic Ball think about the Bvlgari Octo lines, Roma, Solo Tempo, or whatever, compared to the Santos? Thanks. Ooh, compared to the Santos. I prefer the Octo Finissimoso. Fud. I suck. The watch ball sucks. That's because it can't pronounce it either. Finissimoso, isn't it? Is that what it is? The Roma is basically the little bitch to the new Octo Finissimoso. Compared to the Santos, the Bvlgari is a far superior watch as far as horological statistics go. All right, man. And I haven't even had a beer. The Roma is pretty cool, you know, if you like that. I mean, it's not my type of watch, but yeah, it's nice, dude. The Finissimoso, that is, you know, they're really stepping up their game a lot. And compared to the Santos, I mean, I have a Santos and I don't have the Octo, so I can't compare the two. I would have to actually have one in my hand before I could say what. I do really like the Cartier Santos, though. All right, man, thanks. Now that's funky. 2 questions. A company called Watchmaster had their safes raided and lots of watches stolen. Can the Magic Ball tell us if these poor souls will ever get their watches back? Also, will I get my watches back? I had to pawn recently due to downturn business. Man, dude, I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. You know, I hope you get your watches back. The Magic Watch Ball states about as far as the Watchmaster having their safes raided and watches stolen, I would imagine that there is going to be some lawsuits against Watchmaster, unless there's insurance on these watches, that these people have these watches insured. However, if you have your watches insured and then you have them stored at a location, such as a dealer or a retail, someone who's selling that watch, it might not cover that because of where it's located. There's no particular outlook on whether or not these people will get their watches back. It's a sad situation, but that's something that the watch ball cannot predict. However, this watch ball in general is 79% correct. I've said this before, accurate, whatever. All right, and we're moving on up. This one comes from Metagirl. Hi, Metagirl. I got to go to the question. What does the Magic Ball think of IWC's heritage with aviation and IWC timepieces overall, not in comparison to other brands, just on its own? I realize that's a very broad question. IWC, although a very popular brand, is very underrated in a sense because the watch brand itself, the watches are amazing and they have great price points to certain models. Not all models, but some models. But you have to be more specific. Overall, IWC is a great company. If you're looking for a specific on a watch, be more. All right, shut up, watch ball. Let me give you my input. Yeah, I mean, if you're saying overall, yeah, IWC are awesome. The thing is with them, there's a lot of, they use the ETA movements and a lot of them. I do think they have in-house movements, but they are owned, you know, part of the same as ETA, you know, ETA movements. So, you know, they have a titanium when they have the different multiple sizes, you know, they have the Mark 18. I love the Mark 18. I like the Mark 20. The titanium, they have 44 millimeters, 48 millimeters, all the way up. So yeah, IWCs definitely are great watches, and I keep meaning to buy one, but I keep buying other things. So, you know, having said that, I hope that kind of helps you out on your question there. All right. Again, if you want to be part of the Magic Watch Ball, just go ahead and ask questions, and I will answer those, and the Watch Ball will tell me what to say to you. So I appreciate it, everybody, and I hope you enjoy your Friday night, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.